Coach, what did you see in the kind of evaluation process of Star Thomas, and what's he added to the room so far for you guys?
You saw a guy that was highly productive at his previous stops that he's been at. An older guy that's played a lot of football. A guy that brings some maturity into the whole room. So it was a piece for us that we were definitely going out looking for an older guy because we are still fairly young in that room. So he brought a ton of maturity, a ton of leadership characteristics, and then a guy that was the leading rusher in the ACC program last year. So that was huge for us to be able to go get a guy like that.
So you like what you saw of him at his previous stop on film. Does he need to prove something to you to show that he can compete with Deshaun or Peyton, like now that he's here?
Yeah, I think that goes for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always room to improve in a game. With Star, you know, it's just the number one deal in terms of coming in, being a product of the system in terms of learning the system completely. Because it comes out just like me as a coach last year. I got here, I've been in several different systems. You kind of confuse a lot of them together because everybody runs the same stuff. He's just getting the verbiage down packed. So him mastering the system, that's the piece of it that we continue to work towards.
Brett?
What do you see? I just see you had a leader in Dylan last year. What do you see out of Peyton and Deshaun that you feel good about right now? Where would you like to see them step forward this offseason?
I feel good with them in terms of the leadership that they're showing to the room. You know, both of those guys have stepped up and kind of taken charge and led the room, you know, by example. I think the biggest deal with them is to continue to take the next step. You know, last year, you know, you had Sam in the room to where holistically as an offense, when you needed a spark, that was the guy to kind of lean towards. Now with those guys understanding, man, I got to be on my A game every single day. And they've done a really good job of that. But also in terms of bringing those younger guys along, like the thing that I really like about both of those guys is that the younger guys that's in the room, if they make a mistake, they go get them before I get them, which is really, really good. And they correct the mistakes, so they're coaching each other in the room. And then the other deal is, like, you always want to see them take the next step in terms of pass protection, you know, being clean and concise in that as we continue to go through spring practice.
Brian?
Peyton in particular, what did he take away from the little bit of experience he had last season, and is there anything he's been kind of focusing on in terms of his, you know, developing physically or anything this offseason?
Yeah, I think that was the deal. You know, him missing spring practice last year, and then having the opportunities that he did in the game last year, the speed of the game, he understand, you know, how the tempo of the game flowed. You saw him get comfortable, you know, in the games he played, particularly in the Ohio State game in the second half. Like, you saw him start to get in his zone. He feel really good. I think the biggest deal with him this offseason has been, you know, running behind his pass, but also holistically as a group being able to win on the free hat. And then the pass protection piece of it, because he didn't get very many opportunities at that last year. He's taken a tremendous step in that this spring in terms of getting better.
Paige?
You mentioned Peyton and Deshaun being able to be leaders in the room, correcting guys before you. What kind of luxury is it to have that in a position group?
It's good because I always tell them the main deal is your greatest teacher is the guy that's sitting next to you. So they understood that they were in those seats before as well. So they can get on those guys and be like, hey, here's the mistakes that I made, don't make those same mistakes. Or don't listen to how coaches coming at you, listen to the message. You know, and if they make a mistake, they go get them and understand, like, here's why you made that mistake. Here's the things that I would do differently in order so that I don't make the same mistake twice.
Eric and Patrick?
Certainly could be wrong, but it looks like Deshaun's kind of carrying himself right now with a lot of confidence. You know, played well when he got opportunities outside of injuries last year. How is he different, if at all? What has he done well this spring to kind of keep progressing?
I think that's the deal. Like, you see the confidence, which he's always been confident, but he's more mature in terms of, you know, he's a year older in the system, so he kind of has seen it all. That's the really good part about everybody in that room that has been here. You know, when you sit here and look at Peyton, you look at Deshaun, you look at Hunter Barnes, like, they've been in that system for multiple years, so they understand, okay, I'm not gonna make this mistake. So if we're going over a schematic issue, it's like, well, coach, what about this? What if this situation comes up? I think Deshaun has grown tremendously in terms of the mental aspect schematically. Like, he understands the system inside and out and understands if this situation comes up, here's the adjustment off of that.
What do you see from Delon Morris this spring, and maybe what are you looking for him to sort of take the next step as you move to the next part of the offseason?
I mean, you see the explosiveness in him that he showed throughout high school. You know, he's a football player. You know, no matter where he lines up on the field, I think he does a really good job. Like, high school, they played him in the slot, played him in the backfield. You know, the next step with him is understanding the speed of the game, especially in practice. He's been close a couple of times to being able to get out and pop a few to show that speed. And then it's always the physicality and the pass protection piece of it, understanding where to place my eyes at in terms of the correct read in the run game, and also in the pass protection game, make sure I'm looking at the correct defender, and then how am I attacking him to make sure that I'm giving the quarterback a clean pocket.
Last two, Adam and Brent.
When Star Thomas came here on his visit or whatever, when he was considering transferring, like, what was your pitch to him? He has 1 year of eligibility. What did you communicate to him about what his opportunity could be here?
Told him come in and compete. You know, everybody's got a clear opportunity to go compete. You're not gonna be getting anything, you gotta go earn it. That's what Coach Hype's main deal is. Number one, come in and learn it, come in and earn it, then go in and take it. And that's all he's given an opportunity. And he didn't back down from the competition whatsoever. Like, him coming in here has been a blessing because he's fit in with that room tremendously. Like, it's no ego whatsoever in that room, and everybody wants to see everybody do good. Now, it's highly competitive, and everybody's pushing everybody, but there's no ego, you know what I'm saying? So he is fit in tremendously in the room.
With Deshaun, what is it about him that makes him so productive, it seems like? I mean, he's been recruited over, so to speak. They're hiring guys coming after him that, like, he's just kind of still standing there. What is it about him that makes him an SEC tailback?
I think the biggest deal when you look at Deshaun is his heart, number one. Like, he's rooted in his faith, he's understanding where his strength comes from. Number two, like, the production that he had in high school, you don't just have that production if you're not a really good player. And he's a football player. So I think the number one deal is he always has that chip on his shoulder. He always has a point to prove every single day that he walks in the building. But he carries himself in a way that is not arrogant, that he has that confidence about him, but he's still humble. And I think the number one deal is when other guys come into the room, he's there to help them. You know, he's taken Justin Baker running his wing and done a really good job in terms of being able to lead him. Same situation with DeJuan Morris. Like, those younger guys that run this game,